So my thing is that mom should really focus on, all right, what's best for the child, and what do I need to do to make sure I'm creating the space for dad to show up? Am I making it difficult for dad to show up? Yo, what up, man?
Hey, what's
sit
up,
here,
brother?
you sit here admiring my background, huh? You
Yeah,
like
bro,
my background?
you fired, bro. Did you just do that?
No, I'm at the
Oh,
airport.
okay, okay.
This is
So,
this is this is this is this is McDonald's backdrop.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, man, tell us what you doing at the airport, man. What you got going on?
Actually, I'm flying out to ATL, man. Was
Okay,
invited, man, to speak in ATL. ET having a fatherhood and a men's conference in ATL
okay.
with some giants, man, and I'm just honored, man, to be selected of one of the speakers to share that platform, man, with
Wow.
them. Man, I'm just humbled just to be on that platform, bro. Just
And,
humbled and honored to be on that
and
platform, bro.
and it's crazy, man. That you said ET like it was, you know, like I mean, it's ET, bro. Come on.
No,
That's
no,
huge. That's a huge.
it,
That's a
it,
huge win, man. Wow.
it
Congratulations.
I appreciate it, man. You know,
Wow.
the crazy thing about it, man, growing up, bro, Deion Sanders was and still is my favorite athlete of all times, and he's speaking at the conference too, bro. And I'm like, man, God, you know how to do it when you do it. And so, yeah, man,
Wow.
I'm mad excited, bro. That so yeah, that's where I'm headed to ATL in this airport. Flight leave out in about an hour, and just
Wow.
excited, man. And I'm ready, man. I'm gonna go down there and be myself, right? And just be
Absolutely. Absolutely.
authentically me. Like I tell the people,
Absolutely.
man, no performance, right? Just go down there and just serve, man. And that's what I'm looking to do to go to Atlanta, man, and serve, and not only serve, man. I'm looking forward to learning from a lot of those men that are down there, man. And
Okay.
one of the guys who I love, man, who's speaking, he speaks right after me is Inky Johnson, bro. And I love that guy's spirit.
Oh,
I love his spirit. I love his message, man. So yeah. So as soon as I get done speaking, bro, I'm going to grab me a seat and I'm gonna eat for the rest of the night, bro. I'm gonna eat for the rest of the night.
well, man, listen, enjoy for all of us. Bring back the wealth of information that you gather along the way and the relationships that you're going to build and create, brother. I mean, again, you represent not just yourself and involved dad, but you represent brothers like me and all the other amazing brothers across the state of Michigan who are involved and engaged in doing this amazing work as it relates to serving fathers. So,
Yeah, man.
go and represent all of us in that space, brother. Congratulations. Wow.
Absolutely, man.
Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, so before we get going, I really didn't even want to do it, but I got to be
Okay.
honest. I got to make a confession. I got a confession
Okay.
to make.
Okay.
So I had a presentation earlier today,
Okay.
and it went really well. It went good. And in the midst of it, I put on a video, and the
Okay.
video did not work. Something happened. So
Okay.
I figured it out, right? Showed the video.
Right.
But this was the killer. When I got done, Scott called
Yeah.
me a few hours later. He was like,
Okay.
hey, what would Cole think if he was on and, and your internet was giving you issues during your presentation? Man, so yeah, I was doing
Thank
this
you, Scott.
presentation and my
Thank you,
internet
Scott.
the video was so powerful. And I'm like, man, they can't even get the gist of it because the darn video won't play right. And the first thing he says is, what would Cole think? What would Cole has to say? I
Thank you.
wish he was there. So
Thank you,
I
Scott.
got a confession. I got a confession to make, that my internet was was jacked up during the just the video
Hey,
portion, yo. Just when I was playing the video, it messed up.
it feels good to have support. Scott, thank you for your continuous
Whatever,
um,
dude.
belief in me
Whatever,
and my
dude.
internet service.
Whatever. So right now I'm using Detroit Wayne's airport internet, so I know I'm strong.
Okay,
I should be strong.
okay,
The camera
okay.
is grainy because it's from my laptop, but
No,
my
you're
internet
good.
tonight is strong.
You're good. You're good. Well, Sean, I wanted to bring something to the, to the group tonight, to our family, to really talk about an issue that I think is showing up a lot. I made a post just to draw in some conversation about how are children seeing men, and so my post was, if you are someone that has the ear and the heart of children, please tell me what children are telling you, based on their behavior and verbally, as it relates to how they are experiencing men in their lives. Right. And so the feedback that I've gotten, man, I haven't even had an opportunity just to sit and just like respond to it, because of what I'm hearing from families, and I didn't say moms. I didn't say moms give me feedback on what your children are saying. I said, if you have the heart and the ear of children, what are children's behavior, and what are they saying verbally
Excuse
to you? And man, the stuff that's coming up is really deep, and it's a theme. One of the it keeps popping up is there's a theme of, dads are not spending quality time with kids, or men aren't spending enough quality time with children. Their men are not transparent with children in their lives, and that men, you can't count on them. You can't count on them to show up. You can't count on them to even keep their word. And so children are questioning, the character of men, and fathers in their lives, because for a lot of children from this post, from the adults who have the ear and heart of children, is that children are scared of men. Um, and that they don't feel like they can really count on men to come through. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you, man, and kind of, talk a little bit about how do we, answer the call of children when we have children from certain spaces responding like that. I mean, that's their fear and concern about
Yeah.
men in their lives.
See, man, I think that's a dope question, right? This is one of the things, man, is that I don't want to say men across the board, because you and I both
Yeah,
know that there's a lot of men that are showing up that are consistent. So
yeah,
what I would say to that individual who made that particular statement about the men in their particular child's life, or whatever the case, if that dad is not showing up, you know, I think the first thing that they need to do, especially as a mom has a lot of power and influence because she's the gatekeeper, right? In a lot
right,
of places, right? Especially if she's a
right,
custodial parent, that she is pretty much the gatekeeper, right? She can
right,
definitely give that access or deny access, even when the courts are involved. So my thing is that mom should really focus on, all right, what's best for the child, and what do I need to do to make sure I'm creating the space for dad to show up? Am I making it difficult for dad to show up? Right? Because I listen to some guys, right? It's just like, if dad is not doing it the way mom wants him to do, and then there's no room for error, if he's late 10 minutes, if he's making having him or her eat certain foods. He said, move my screen a little bit. Where you want me to move my screen to? Right there? Is that better? Ken, he want to make sure I'm in the middle. I don't know where I'm at. But how about back up? So,
there you
so
go.
my thing is that better? All right. Um, so the thing about it is, is creating the space for create a space for that father to show up, and not making it difficult, and not putting more obstacles in his way for to show up. And when he does show up, not be so critical, right? And not, I say this to my wife, and I say it to a lot of people, from this aspect, right? Is that when early on, my wife used to want me to be more affectionate, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
when I attempted early on, she would say, "You doing it because I asked you."
Mm.
Guess what? I was,
Yeah.
because it wasn't normal. It wasn't natural.
Yeah.
So, but because I love you enough, I'm gonna do it, and I want to do it because that's something that you expressed that you needed and that you wanted. So, because I love you, I'm going to do that, even though it's uncomfortable for me. I I need you to know, like, we're gonna grow through this together.
Right.
And so eventually, it became natural. Where it's no longer an issue, right? I had to work through my own process. But the key point that I want to make in here is, don't judge me for what you asked me to do,
Okay.
because I'm doing it, right. So when dad comes around, don't judge him for everything. There's certain things that he is not going to do, yet that's perfect. Um, so when he does show up, don't be critical of everything that he does, right? Because, or know exactly what my man triggers are. So don't belabor or don't attack him in an area that that's his trigger, that's his buttons. There's certain things, my wife and I, we've been together for years, and she knows still what's my buttons, bro. She know what my triggers are. So she's not,
Right.
whenever we have a disagreement, she's not hitting those boys, or when we haven't, or when if I'm not, doing something or whatever the case, like, Sean, did you pay this? Did you pay that? She knew that was my kryptonite. She knew I wasn't
Right.
consistent, right?
Right.
So, and she know that I have a hard time when she asks me millions of questions. So what
Yeah.
happens? She is very aware of when she's gonna ask me a question or challenge me, or she's just gonna go ahead and do it. Vice versa,
Right.
because I
Right.
know the person, right? And so I say all of that to say the same thing, you know, to um, to that particular person, is that you have to be aware of who you're dealing with. And I'm not saying that you have to cower down or just do things to appease them, but it has to be a dance. You have to dance together. It's a wrestling. You have to wrestle together. You know what I mean, to get to the solution that you both looking for.
Okay. 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 Yeah, yeah. Part of me also wonders too. Being a dad involved in the foster care system and ultimately becoming a dad that adopted. Part of the I think the biggest challenges that I was faced with was getting my sons to be able to trust me, right? And I learned from my sons is that many of my sons had either did not have a really good, healthy experience with their own fathers, with their own uncles, with their own, even their own brothers. And so then I show up in their lives. And I just think that, by me just showing up, me being present, and me giving them this love, that was enough to create a space and an atmosphere for them to be able to trust me. And it really took me a long time to recognize that trust is a very delicate um, it's a very delicate process for so many people, and especially for children, right? And a lot of the messages that were on my post were really centered around children not trusting not just their dads, but not being able to feel like they could trust men. And I thought to myself, well, man, as a man, how might you, how might men who show up in the lives of children who have those trust issues make sure that we create an experience for them that they feel like, okay, I can trust you. And so, part of me just wonders, I was thinking back, what were some of the things that I did to get my son's trust? And one of the things I think I realized that is really important for children out there is that children, have a level of consistency in their lives as it relates to the men that show up in their lives, and making sure that when men do show up, is that men are held accountable by somebody. So that because I think sometimes we forget how important we are and the roles that we play in the lives of children and how easily um, we can hurt children unintentionally just by not showing up consistently, not keeping our word. And and I have been a product of someone saying they were going to show up and they didn't. And I've also been the person who created the I'm going to show up, I'm going to be there, and then I let my schedule get in the way. I let life get in the way, and then I felt bad about it, and then I just didn't show up at all. And so, I think that's a challenging space to operate out of too, is that, part of making sure that children feel safe with men is that men have to recognize that they have to be consistent and they have to forgive themselves when they make a mistake and still turn around and show back up, and I think that can be difficult to do um, when you feel like you're not winning in that space. But I keep learning and recognizing that, man, men don't know how delicate children are, so, and not all, but I think we sometimes forget the power that we have as fathers and as men, and that children are always watching us, and
Oh,
just to be for us to be aware of that, you know.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. You see our girl here. You see our girl
yeah,
here. You
yeah,
see she here. Oh, and
yeah.
guess what? Her internet. Oh, let's see. her
Ooh,
her
wait,
internet is frozen.
wait, was that? Wait, was that Tasha?
She came in. She
Bro,
she
I
came
didn't know
in.
that.
She,
I just,
yo, we killing you. She came in. It was freezalicious.
Tasha,
yo,
Tasha, I didn't even hear you. I mean, I didn't see you. I just heard
yo,
you.
yo. She
I ain't even been on 5 minutes.
and she started freezing already. You and Cole, boy. You and Cole. So, Taj, man,
So,
welcome. I'm glad you're
welcome,
here.
Tasha.
Hey, I miss y'all.
we we miss you too. So, Tosh, let me ask you this, right? Because we've been talking about
Look at she go. Look at her.
really. Is she
Taj.
still there?
No,
Is she there?
yeah,
I can't see her.
no. She keep on trying to leave and come on back. Tell her we are not playing peekaboo with her. Look at her.
Listen,
She trying to play
somebody
peekaboo.
is coming to look at the internet tomorrow. I've been teaching workshops the last 2 days, freezing the whole time. I'm like, really? Really? So, yeah, somebody,
They coming tomorrow.
yeah, reimburse us for like 6 months.
Hey, for real, I can see that. Go ahead, ask her. Ask her what you was gonna say.
Yeah, Tasha, the conversation that we're having is really around how do men make sure that they build trust with children who grow up and don't have healthy relationships or healthy connection with men. So whether it's their uncle or their grandfather, what might men learn or be able to do or should do to make sure that they create an atmosphere or an experience where children feel safe with them?
Consistency. I think that's the biggest one. And just showing up and doing what you say you're going to do. Because I think that kids like that are used to people letting them down and telling them one thing and doing another. So if they see a man who is consistent and he does what he says he's gonna do, I think that is the one of the best ways to build trust.
My thing is that a lot of times, man, um, a lot of times men um, show show up differently. And I'm not gonna go into
Yeah,
detail about this one particular thing, right? But I just say this. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and her friend told her that they was gonna come through, and then plans changed, right?
Yeah.
right.
And then probably an hour later, she discovered that her friend was doing something else during the
Mm-hmm.
time that they were supposed to be doing something, right? And so she was
Yeah.
let down, right? She was let down. She was upset, the whole nine. And
Yeah.
so I had to come to her and I'm like, all right, listen, babe, let me teach you about men, right? And I'm like, yes, he could have handled the situation differently. But my question to you, babe, is in your communication, have you created a space, or both of you created a space where you can be honest, right? Where I don't feel like I have to tell you a white lie because I want to do something else, right?
Mm.
And so my thing is, and not justifying his behavior, right? Because he still was in control of his behavior. But I give her
Mhm.
an example of me and her mom is that your dad need his space. And I can tell my wife that I need space, I need time alone today. Today, I ain't talking about 50 years ago or, when we first started, but today I can tell her that without her getting offended.
Yeah.
There was a portion or a time when I didn't feel like I can because I knew she was going to take it personal and it might become an issue.
Yep.
And so, what I'm saying with all of that is with these relationships, we have to be mindful of creating a space and an atmosphere where all parties can be transparent and don't feel like they have to lie or not tell the whole truth, right? The person is disclosing information. Why? Because they don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
They really don't want to hurt you. And they just thinking like, yo, I can get away with this for a moment. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be with you, Cole, or you, Tasha. It's just like, hey, there's something else that I'd rather do at this moment, but I don't know how to tell you without it being a conflict, right?
Yeah.
Again, not talking about how he handled it was right. He has to learn how to communicate, but
Hmm.
it goes with both parties. So when Cole asked that question earlier, I just think with this whole co-parenting, when you're dealing with children and when you're dealing with in relationships, we have to create an environment where we feel safe enough to be able to say what we say and not be judged afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is that learned behavior though? Because
It
it
is.
has seen a
It
man
is.
lie, and that's why he decided to do it. Is my question.
And I don't know, and I don't
Yeah.
even say that it was. I won't even say it was just a man, right? It might have been in the. Listen,
Right.
I remember growing up, a bill collector call, my mom saying, "Yo, tell him I ain't here." My dad
Yep.
wasn't saying that,
Yep.
right?
And
I
we
was
think,
learning. I was learning how to avoid,
but
and if a bill collector was calling, they answer the phone. Dude, we change our voice.
yeah.
Change our
Yeah.
voice. Like, oh, they're
Yep.
not here. And so what happened? Did the same behavior.
Yep. 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 Mm.
So my thing is that I had to learn how to number one, if it's about being fiscally responsible, is not put myself in a position where I have to hide from the debt collector.
Yeah.
Right? I need to go to the root and become more fiscally responsible, not buy more stuff than I can manage, that I can have, that I can, be responsible for. Like, yo, Shon, you need to manage your finances better so that way you won't have to run from a creditor.
Mhm.
Right? So it's the same thing, man. It's just learning how is I put myself like, man, I can't honestly, man. And people probably get tired of me saying this, man. And me and my wife went through a whole bunch of stuff, guys. But our relationship is so dope, man. We allow each other to really grow, make mistakes without judgment, like processing. Like I am becoming the man who God created me because I am in a healthy environment where it's okay for me to make a mistake
Yep.
and grow.
So, so Shon, tell me if I'm hearing this incorrectly. So what I hear you saying is that if I am the adoptive parent of a child who has a bio father who's not engaged, and children are reporting how much they're hurting, if I am a mom who has a child and the father said he was going to come and he didn't come, but he said that multiple times. If I am an aunt and my brother said he was going to come pick his nephew up and he didn't show, then it's my responsibility as the person that has the heart and the ear of the child to say, this is, you need to hold grace for dad or uncle. You need to, like, how do you help a child sort of process that in a way that it's less judgment? Because I think what also is happening too is that kids also have these emotions that are tied to that. So how do I say to my 5-year-old who's waiting by the phone or waiting, looking out the window and noticing dad or uncle or whoever that male caretaker is that said he was going to come isn't coming? How do I, as the person that's taking care of them, hold space for that as well as Sean? What you got going on?
They kicking me out of
They
McDonald's.
evacuate. You got to go.
They kicking me out on my live
You got
podcast.
kicked out
They
of Mickey
kicking me
D's.
out at the airport. They kicked me out. She like, sir, we are
Listen,
closed.
Ken is going to kill us.
No, he's not, because look, watch this. So y'all talk.
Josh, Josh. So what? Because I'm trying to figure out how might we support the child's emotions while at the
Yeah,
same time making sure that they don't.
I'm
We
listening
teach
to
them not to be judgmental as well. Like I feel like how does one
you.
person do that?
I'm listening to you because it's important to figure out a way to explain that to a younger child, because what happens is they become an adult that still has that resentment. And I'm speaking from personal experience. That it took me a while to be able to give my father grace, and realize that although the choices he made, they did have a huge impact on me. Um, he didn't choose to. I would say he didn't purposely want to hurt me, but it took for me to be almost 40-year-old woman to realize that. And so
Mm,
maybe have someone that at 5 or 6 and explain that to me in a way where I could um, maybe see it from his perspective. Maybe I could have processed
okay.
those things differently instead of internalizing.
Sean, you should probably mute yourself while you traveling. That way. Mute,
Just
Sean.
looking at all the restaurants in the background, like, dang.
Yo, listen. Yo, internet tried to
Well,
destroy us. See,
it can't do that, Sean. We can't allow the internet to win.
no, no, we not. Listen, we being straight hood tonight, but that's all right. Yo, we gonna finish this. We gonna finish what we started. We gonna finish what we started. So go ahead. So what I mean, what were you saying
Yeah.
before
So
we got rudely interrupted?
yes, yeah. No. So I think what is really teach children what it means grace. So the feelings that they have and that those faith that it's okay for them to feel them. Um, because I think that do is that we don't allow children sometimes to have the feelings we can feelings down for them. I think it's really important to allow children to feel those things, but then hold space for um, those feelings to be heard and experienced and expressed, no matter how it might come out.
No,
I think we sometimes tell people how they
that's
should
real.
express their feelings.
That's real. I mean, not for real. I
You know,
definitely agree. I definitely agree with you
yeah,
on that,
yeah,
man. My biggest thing,
yeah,
bro, is
yeah,
as always is that people need to create a space, a healthy space for men to process and not give them an escape and not give them a way out, right?
yeah,
I mean, my thing is just what makes us successful at Involved Dad, man, is that we create a space for men to be
yeah,
true and authentic, regardless of what it is, and then we hold them accountable, right? But I can't get to the accountability piece if they don't trust me and I don't know what their true issues are, right? I don't want to take, just one person's word, you know, for it or whatever. I need to understand both sides, right? So that's why I do talk to, the mothers as well as, sometimes the children. So that way we can find the best way to how do we support dad. I mean, he may be grown and he may be big in stature.
yeah,
I mean, he may be, a lot of years and his numbers or how many years he been on this planet. But bro, a lot of times, man, he is young on the inside. So so listen, I think we finished
I
this
agree.
tonight. We didn't want to quit.
I
We'll
agree.
be back next week with some great internet. I'll be back at my crib. You will have your camera, and we will continue to grow this thing, man. But we
Bro,
want to be consistent.
you ain't have to bring my camera inside.
I'm sorry, because you did
You ain't
say
have to
that,
bring
because you
my
mentioned
camera up,
that,
bro.
because that was something you
Bro, I didn't
mentioned. I
say that
just
in the
want to.
beginning, bro. I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't say that during when we went live, bro. No.
Oh, I thought you did. I think. Oh, that was behind the scenes. That was in the
That's
green
Chromecast.
scene. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
see,
yeah,
see.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. That was
okay,
before we went live, bro.
okay. All right. Well, we get it going next week,
Sean, you
man.
got legit or not? You got
Huh?
you got a legit or not legit?
Is it?
You
My
got a
thing
legit
is,
or not legit before we leave?
yeah, my legit or not legit. Is it legit? I don't even want to put us out there like that. Let's just say, is it legit for McDonald's to kick me out when I'm doing a live podcast? Was that legit or not legit? That young lady saw me, and I told her how long I was going to be there.
She
Was
did.
it legit for her to kick me out? Was that legit or not legit? I want to know. Talk to me. Was it? I mean, and just because you on here,
Legit.
Cole, I need to know: is that legit or not legit?
Yeah, that was legit.
It was legit for her to kick me out.
Yeah, that was legit.
Oh my god!
Yeah, bro. We don't know what kind of shift she had. It was time to go. She was ready to go home.
How dare you? Okay, all right, you're
She
right.
that was
All
legit.
right.
She probably could have slipped you a little note or something. She saw you on, but
Yes.
no, bro. She was ready to go.
Yo, she
She
came over here like clapping, like sir, 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 sir. Like I gonna be too many more sirs. You know what I mean? Sir, we close. We sir, we close.
yeah, that she was ready to go.
Oh my boy, see, I didn't even see
She
the
said, "Check it."
internet all jacked up. Our boy Scott said something. He always dropping something. Yeah, would you say Scott
I love it.
McDonald's doesn't care? Before we go, I want to read what Scott said. Scott said, "I think it's about patterns. If it's a pattern of showing up
Mm,
and there's a miss and subsequent disappointment in the child, then the teachable moment of grace is helpful. Yep. If the pattern is not
yeah,
showing up, then I think the situation is more complex. Grace will run thin
yeah.
if an effort isn't being made. Absolutely, Scott. And I think that's a great way to
I love
close
it,
out
Scott.
after you both agreed that I should have been kicked out of McDonald's,
Yeah,
Mickey D's. But you
yeah.
know what? It is what it is. And Scott, I don't know if you heard in the beginning,
Hey,
I did tell on myself. I did say my internet was jacking up this morning during the presentation. So I'm a man of my word. Yeah, so Scott called me
I
out on
love that.
that.
I love that.
Whatever.
Thank you,
Whatever,
Scott.
dog.
Thank you, Scott. Listen, listen, Sean. Safe travels, man. Enjoy this amazing conference, man. Do what you do best, and make memories, brother. So, thank you.
All right, man. Let's get this work.
Yeah. All right.